Hello you guys, I've got a really quick announcement before I get on to this video. To raise money for cancer, me, Eve Watkiss, Callum Watkiss and Will Jones will be dyeing our hair in different colours to raise money for cancer. I will be getting red highlights, Eve will be dyeing her hair pink. She's not sure whether she wants it all pink or zip dyed, you'll find out in the video. Callum's dyeing his blue and Will's dyeing his green. We really want you to donate so we can raise money for cancer. If you know us personally, message me and meet up with me one day to raise money. If you don't know me personally, message me if you want to raise money and I'll give you my address to send it to. We want to raise as much money as possible. The deadline would be, well, we'll be dyeing our hair within the next 2 weeks. So the video will be going up the 31st of July. So that would be when we'd be uploading the video. So the deadline would be then. Probably best to have more of a deadline on Saturday the 30th. Please help us out here and donate money to us to raise money for cancer. We are really excited to have a change in hair and this is a great thing to do, so please donate to us. Remember, it's me, Eve Watkiss, who you've seen in my videos, Callum Watkiss, who's her brother, and Will Jones. Thank you guys, and let's go on with the video. Right, so ignore the wet hair and the rubbish quality. I'm currently on my computer because I forgot to film on my camera again, sorry. But I just want to say, my drawings in this are absolutely shocking. I cannot draw with a whiteboard pen that's like that thick. So I don't need any negative comments on how bad the drawings are because, trust me, I know I can't draw on a whiteboard. But if you want to see what drawings I actually can do, check out my Instagram, maths_drawings_xx, link in the description. Cheers guys, hope you like the video. Hey guys, it's Maddy May. Well, actually that's just my stage name. My real name happens to be Madeline Anais Turner. At Stepping Hill Hospital, Stockport, I was born at midnight 46 on the 2nd of September 2002. I then lived in Stockport from 2002 to 2003 with my mum and my dad. In 2003, my grandparents moved to a house in Wilmslow. Although it wasn't technically a house, it was more of a hotel. It used to be a hotel until my grandparents redeveloped it. My mum and dad then decided it best to take a break from Stockport and move down to London. We lived there for 2 years, from 2003 to February 2005. My parents took me down to Spain at the age of 1, where I had some filming to do for an advert, not entirely sure what the advert was for, or if it was even aired, but my grandpa was in the industry at the time and managed to get me a job. At the age of 2, we had a big family holiday down to Australia with my grandparents, my uncle, my dad, my mum. Not that I remember the trip, of course. In 2005, my parents and I all went down to live in Ipswich. On the 2nd of June 2005 in Ipswich, the ghastly little brother of mine, Felix Oliver Turner, was born. Really wish I could just give him back to the hospital. Though if I'm being completely honest with you, having a brother at age 0 was a lot better than having one at age 11 now. Love you, little bro. In February 2006, my mum and dad had broken up. My mum had moved out, but only just down the road. They still get along perfectly fine. 6 months later, my mum had moved out of Ipswich and moved down to Chawton in Manchester. My dad moved down to Greater Manchester and moved into a flat. We are still currently living there now. Whilst living in Chawton, my mum shared a house in Stoke with her friends, though she moved out because she thought a party-filled environment wasn't the best for kids. All thrilled with joy and excitement, I started primary school for the first time. I had been to numerous amount of different nurseries before I went to the nursery in Brooklyn. I went to Brooklyn Primary School from nursery to year 2 until I sadly moved away. At a young age of 5, I started getting into activities, including CYT, standing for Chawton Youth Theatre, where we do musical theatre, including singing, dancing and acting. Of course I've been singing my whole life, but this is where I got to perform on stage. I then started horse riding. I very much enjoyed horse riding and did it for a long time. Unfortunately I had to stop as we couldn't afford it anymore. A few years later I got back into horse riding and my mum decided to loan. I first loaned a pony named Maisie and my mum loaned a horse named Charlie. Maisie was very naughty. I then loaned a horse named Jack. Unfortunately, we ran out of money and had to stop loaning, but I'm going to start getting back into horse riding because I very much miss it. I also started swimming. I currently swim at Manchester Grammar School, though I used to go to a small centre in Manchester. I left simply because they always told me off for fiddling with my goggles. What? It's not my fault that water always got in my eyes. When I was 5, my grandparents paid for a trip for me, my mum and my brother to go to America. We stayed with one relative for 1 week and another relative for another week. But the funniest memory happened because my little brother's toy got demolished by one of the dogs. And honestly, I know this is bad, but I could not stop laughing. When I was 6 or 7, I stupidly broke my arm. As you do as a child, you have a temper tantrum. I had a temper tantrum because I got yelled at in dance. I stormed out of the classroom, shoved a heavy fire door open, and well, let's just say my arm didn't click in the right position. My grandparents got a little bored of Wilmslow and decided to have a complete and utter change and moved to the countryside in Goostrey, where they moved into a farm called Blackstone Hall Farm. They used to own several pigs, cows, chickens, ducks. Sadly we don't anymore, and now they just have chickens, 2, sometimes 4 dogs, and 5 cats. When my grandparents moved down, my mum decided to go live with them again. My grandparents, my mum, my uncle, me, my brother, we all lived there until family arguments happened and she moved out. She then moved to the tiniest flat in Stoke ever. It was so small that my brother shared a tiny room with my mum whilst I slept in her office on the floor. The only other rooms in the flat was the tiny living room dining room area, toilet, possibly the smallest kitchen you'll ever see. When moving down to Cheshire, I had to change primary schools too. I moved to Goostrey Primary and it was probably one of the best ideas my family had ever had. Of course I miss my Brookburn friends, but I had the best time growing up there and made some fab memories with some amazing people. My mum moved out the flat yet again and moved down the road to a house in Stoke. We had a really cool neighbour whose company made fudge and she always gave us a free package. One scary day, my dad took me, my brother and our 3 friends who were staying at ours down to the park. To get to the park you had to walk down this really, really steep hill. When you walked through the gates to get to the park, the hill only got steeper. My brother had brought his micro scooter with him and came hurtling down the hill like the Flash. When tilting his scooter to turn around the sharp corner of the hill, he fell off his scooter at full speed and was knocked unconscious with blood over the floor. He spent weeks in hospital and suffered from cracking his head open and having bruises and bleeding to his brain. Very few survive injuries like this and my brother was extremely lucky. That was a very scary day. In year 4, I had an operation on my throat to have my tonsils removed. It was a horrible feeling when they injected the medicine in me to fall asleep as I could feel it travelling through my body until I coughed and the doctor said, "Don't worry, this always happens." And then I fell asleep. It was also a horrible feeling when I woke up crying, I don't know why, and also when they removed the needle that was in my arm and in my vein. Ugh, it was so horrible. But I got given ice cream and had 2 weeks off school and then 2 weeks for Easter break straight after. In 2013, my mum moved to a really cute little house in Audley, where we stayed for only a year. In year 6, my grandparents owned a company named Pick & Co. They got noticed by CITV's Lunchbox and their product was used on the show. CITV wanted me to be on their 5-minute segment where I showed them around the farm and what it's like in farm life. In December 2013, I had the devastating news of Chorley Theatre closing down. I've been going for 6 years with my best friend Izzy. By the way, check out our Saucy Shower Challenge video. And we were all in tears by the end of our last lesson. It was a huge part of my childhood and I've made the best memories of my life there. When taking a break from musical theatre for a couple of years, I started act for TV. I am still currently going. We work on scripts and TV shows and movies, practice commercials, and also get a great opportunity to do filming with professional cameramen. We also have agencies and directors come in frequently to watch us. I've had a few auditions through them and it's been great fun. Be sure to watch my Actors Life video. My mum moved to a split farmhouse in Northallerton called Midrick Farm. I made a great friend named Tabby who lived in the other half of the split house, though she moved because of our horrible landlord. We were not a fan of our landlord as she did a number of things, including trying to get us to get rid of our cats as she didn't want more than one living there. In September 2014, I started high school. I currently go to Holmes Chapel Comprehensive School. And yes, for all those who don't know, it is the school that Harry Styles went to. Despite my landlord's horrible ways, I had a great time in my farmhouse and hosted a Halloween party with my friends where we had a great night with fireworks, loud music and pretending to be drunk on non-alcoholic ginger beer. That's my friends for you. One day I was sent to hospital because the day before I was wrestling with the dog and wasn't aware how close my head was to the wall until I banged it. I was fine until the next day at school where I felt incredibly dizzy and got sent home when I was then taken to hospital. I was put in a horrible neck brace and sent to several x-rays. Turns out I got whiplash in my neck and a concussion. To be honest, I just blamed the dog. In February 2015, my life took a sudden turn and things started to get extremely bad. My family have always had huge issues which do not need to be shared, but in February I started to get involved. World War III happened between me and my mum, disorders developed, family wars, bullies at school, getting mental help and lots of scary confusing stuff. That is my life behind closed doors, and only one person knows part of that life. Anyway, not the point. Our landlord kicked us out of the house as she wanted someone to buy it as we were only renting. We were very stressed finding a new house that was just as good in a very short space of time, as we only had a couple months to find a house, afford it, pack it and move. My grandparents then surprised me and my brother by taking us on holiday to Turkey. That was the first holiday we'd had in years, and it was possibly the best week of my life, and my Turkey squad was the best group of friends ever on holiday. I love and miss them all, yet still are in contact with them all. I will never have a holiday as good as that. By the way, watch my Turkey vlog. I then went to Paris with my school and had the best time. I especially love going to Disneyland and making some great memories with some great people. Again, please watch my vlog. In November 2015, after looking for months, my mum finally found a much bigger, better and much nicer farmhouse in Sandbash that we currently live in, and we do not miss our old house one single bit. Feel free to check out Maddy Move's house to see what my old and new house is like. One day when passing in Tesco's, I noticed a stand that said Stagecoach. Stagecoach is a musical theatre group which I now currently go to, thanks to my grandparents who got me as a Christmas present. We do dance, musical theatre, singing, improvising, accents and much more. I'm glad I got back into theatre as I very much missed it after 3 years and have some great friends now at Stagecoach. I currently do a lot of clubs. Sorry for the lack of drawing, but my arm was really aching after drawing for so long. I do football for Home Chapel Hurricanes, flute, piano, acoustic guitar, electric guitar, ukulele, keyboard, singing, army cadets, and lots more. I've just been to Barcelona with my school and had such a fun yet very, very hot time, even though roughly we walked over 30 miles during the week. By the way, watch my vlog. And I've finally broken up for summer. I haven't had the best year and I'm extremely happy to have broken up. I hope year 9 is a lot better. Thank you all for watching and I hope you have a brilliant summer. Be sure to follow my Instagrams, the names will be in the description, but here's a quick reminder. My Snapchat is also on here. Please like, subscribe and comment. Thanks again, bye!